Hey, what's up gentlemen, it's Myron here. So today I'm going to be teaching you 4 different ways of tying a tie. Coming from an industry where I'm always expected to dress well, every time I go out I have to, always wear a tie. So I don't want to be always wearing the same boring knot, which is the full Windsor. So today I'm going to teach you 4 different ways of tying a tie. So number 1 is going to be the 4-in-hand. Number 2 is going to be the Half Windsor. Number 3 is going to be the Nikki knot, and number 4 is my favorite, is going to be the Prince Albert knot. If this is something that you'll be interested in, then keep watching. Alright, so right now I'm going to teach you how to do the 4-in-hand. This is probably one of the easiest knots you can ever learn. This is how I learned how to tie a tie when I was young, and my dad taught me this knot. So pretty much what you want is, I have the wider end and the longer end to my right hand side, and I have the shorter and the thinner end to my left hand side. And pretty much you would want the shorter and the thinner end to stop at your belly button, so that you kind of have to, depends on how tall you are. So if you're like my height, I'm like 5'10", so I pretty much have it like that. If you're too tall, you would have to adjust it according to your height. And what you're gonna do is, now you're gonna pretty much pinch here and then put it right over the wider end, and the longer end you're gonna put it over to your left hand side. You're gonna bring it around, and then you're gonna bring it over to the right, back to the left hand side. So here I'm holding, if you can see it, I'm kind of holding it with my fingers. So I'm kind of trying to create a loop. So I'll bring it right through the inside of the tie, and then I'm going to put it right through that loop. So when I put it through the loop, kind of bring it down. Now I'm going to adjust. See here, I'm going to make this knot as small as possible. So I'm going to pretty much keep pulling and pulling and pulling to adjust it, and I'll kind of bring it over and I'll push it right above, and that's a 4-in-hand. So I bring it right to my collar, shirt collar, and bring it down, fix everything, adjust it, make sure that it's not too tight, and then voila, that's a 4-in-hand. If you see it, it will stop right at where my belt is gonna stop. It won't go too long or too short. It'll be right perfectly aligned with my belt, and that's the 4-in-hand. Alright, so now let's move on to knot number 2. So pretty much this knot is called the Half Windsor. Half Windsor is just 1 step less than the full Windsor. So I'm going to teach you how to do the Half Windsor knot. Okay, so for the Half Windsor you need a bit more fabric from the long end and the wider end. So I want you to kind of have the shorter end just a bit above the belly button. And we're going to go, again, it's on my right hand side, the longer and the wider end. So we're going to pretty much go crossover and bring it over to the left hand side, the long end, and pinch. Then you're going to kind of go right underneath it, and then bring the wider end right through this loop right here, and then create a knot. Okay, so with this knot, you're gonna again keep it on the left hand side, the wider end on the left hand side, and then you're gonna go right underneath and bring it to your right hand side, switch hand, bring it to your right hand side, and kind of go over it. So if you see now, you'll see that there is a loop that I'm creating, which I'll bring the tie right through in the end. So this loop I created right here, so keep your hands here, and then now you're gonna go underneath, bring it right through the tie loop again, and then you're gonna put it right through that loop I created and pull the wider end and adjust the tie according to your length. So now bring it right up, and that is the 4-in-hand. Sorry, that is the Half Windsor. Alright, so this particular knot is called the Nikki knot. For this knot, I'm gonna have the shorter and the thinner end on my right hand side, and the wider and the longer end is on my left hand side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the tie, because you need to have this tie inverted, and you'll see that this tie is inverted. So pretty much what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring the shorter end over to the side and kind of pinch it and put the longer and the wider end right through the front, just like this, and then you're gonna create a knot. So now what you're gonna do is, see how it's on now the longer end and the wider end is on my right hand. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it over to my left hand, pretty much gonna switch hands, and then I'm gonna pinch it here, and I'm gonna go right over through again. Now I'm gonna bring it over to my right side again, the longer end, and I'm gonna go put it right through this loop. Then I'm gonna put it through the loop and pull the long end. Now I'm gonna kind of adjust it once again, right, the way I want the knot to be. Then I'm going to pull it right above, and then if you see it, it is a bit more pointy, and it's a bit more smaller than the full Windsor, which I like, because full Windsors are usually really good for spread collars that are really spread and wide, and I really don't wear full Windsors as much. So this knot is so perfect because it's way smaller than a full Windsor, but it still gives that depth and adds a bit more volume and covers your collar. So if you see it when I pull it down, it stays right there, and that's it. Voila. So this is called the Nikki knot. Alright, so I always keep the best for last, and this is probably one of my favorite knots, and I've been wearing it a lot, and this knot is called the Prince Albert knot. So for this knot, you're going to need a lot of fabric, so the wider end should be on your right hand side, and it should be as long as possible. So when you have like pretty long ties, you know, some standard ties come at like 148 centimeters. So if you have a tie that's longer than that, you know, this knot will work perfect. Okay, so pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the longer end on my right hand side, and I'm gonna bring the shorter end, and I'm gonna put the longer end over, and I'm gonna pinch. Okay, so I'm gonna, just like how I did the forehand hand, I'm gonna bring it over to my right hand side, the longer end, and then I'm gonna bring it right over. Now I'm gonna use my next finger, and I'm gonna hold it again, right, because I'm gonna have to go through one more time. So hold it with this finger, I'm holding it, then I'm gonna go right over it again to my right hand side, and I'm gonna bring it to my left hand again. So if you see it, you'll see that, I'm trying to create a step, if you notice. Okay, now the loop that I created from the beginning, right, what I'm gonna do is, just like I'll put any tie through, I'll put it right through the bottom, right? Then I'm gonna put it through the loop that I created in the beginning. See this? Now I'm gonna pull the long end down. Then now I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna keep adjusting, keep adjusting, keep adjusting. And keep adjusting, and then now, if you notice, created 2 steps here. See, this would work really good with ties that have patterns, right? That's why I chose this particular tie. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it right up to the collar, adjust my shirt. Fix my collar properly, pull it down, adjust the tie, adjust the knot size. And there you go. This is the Prince Albert knot. Alright guys, so these are the 4 different knots, and I hope you guys like these knots, and I want you guys to try them out. And if you like this video, please click the like button below and subscribe to my channel for more men fashion content. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay tuned and stay stylish.